our mayoral election coming up this Tuesday.
What?
Y'all got choices.
Y'all got a Paul Vallas inauguration coming up?
Man, Joe.
Either you lose your schools or you lose your police.
Hey, look here. I'm gonna tell you right now. We're gonna lose. We're gonna lose everything with
Schools
either
and the
one of these
police with either
motherfuckers.
one of them
Probably.
motherfuckers.
These
From the
are two of the most same.
same,
They the
same.
same motherfucker. When they ask them direct yes or no questions, they literally will sit there and look at the other person to try to guess if that motherfucker is gonna say yes or no after me and have a good reason as to why they said yes or no.
Them two
When you
motherfuckers is
get
the
rid of
Spider-Man
speed
meme.
cameras, when you get rid of speed cameras, I saw these motherfuckers deliberate. They looked at each other. They've answered this question before, but they lie so much they can't remember what lie they supposed to tell about speed cameras. So they'll hesitate and say, "Wait, is he gonna get rid of them?" If he said get rid of them, I gotta say I'm gonna get rid of them.
Hey,
Oh, you get rid? Yeah, I'm gonna get rid of them too. Yeah. Me too. Me too.
Hey,
Like,
the motherfuckers be at the debate. Do she got a kid? Love some Waffle House.
that nigga Paul Vallas was like, I remember. I remember, don't worry. How could I ever forget? It was the first time, the last the last time that we ever met. Oh Did that nigga just say oh Is that
I.
Is he ad
But
libbing?
and these are our choices. So
I
they
can
had they
hear
had they had their final debate of this local political
call.
season last night. This was the most contemptuous debate that they had. Paul Vallas stood tall. The motherfucker repeated the exact same shit he repeated the last debate, which was a bunch of shit that he just took from all of the other candidates that he had never said in any of the previous 11. Well, actually, it wasn't 11. It was probably like 6 or 7 other forums that I saw in the general scrum, of which he said very little shit. But then when everybody got out, he got a couple more ideas. And now he's gonna do this thing and that thing and that thing, which all sound good, but also sound eerily similar to the shit that this other motherfucker said that you were not saying up until right now. So he got on the stage and he just lied about all the shit that he wanted to do, that he said he was gonna do, and it all sounds great until you just realize, yes, a motherfucker that is just lying to you is going to tell you, is going to sound great to you. I could imagine the amount of access to women I would have had I just told them what they wanted to hear. And I knew what they wanted to hear, but I wouldn't say it because it wasn't anything that I had plans on doing. I don't love you. No, we not going out. No, you can't meet nobody I know.
So you aren't trying to get elected then?
No, you can't be my girlfriend. Not trying to get elected. So I'm going to tell you the truth to these things. But when I'm trying to get the draws, if I was a less scrupulous motherfucker, I'd be giving you all this. Girl, I just feel strongly about you. You know, it's just something different about you. I think it could be love. I think I might actually feel that way about you. I could have lied and said that a lot of times and got much more pussy. My integrity would not allow me to do so. That is not a problem either of the potential mayors of Chicago has. They will lie about everything. Paul Vallas lies about what he wants to do with schools, integrating workshop. This motherfucker's gonna tell you what he wants to do with schools. He's gonna tell you that he wants to put in work study programs and shit like that, and it's gonna be all hunky dory and great. What he wants to do to your school is the exact same thing he has done to every other school district he's ever been in, including
Cannibalize it.
including this one. He was here before.
He's the motherfucker that initiated that cannibalization that moved all of them fucking schools to privatization.
And
He's
then
the
he took it
reason
on a
all that he was no, what you was gonna say? He took it on a what? On a worldwide tour.
on a national tour.
Ready for the big
Oh,
stage.
you
That
want to see
nigga
how I
Paul
fucked up
Vallas is.
Chicago schools?
Do y'all remember the people that we're talking to now? Do y'all remember when it was 32 schools they were talking about closing all at once with
Hmm.
no plan? With no plan. He did that. That was Paul Vallas
Him,
there.
him, him.
That shit wasn't that long ago, neither.
It
When
was.
the schools got combined and it was all these different motherfuckers that you had never seen before, and it was like, wait a minute,
You know when they originally started
him,
talking about 64 kids in the class? His
him,
ass.
him.
Wasn't
So
that fucking long ago?
so he comes back after going to Philadelphia, New Orleans. He went somewhere in fucking Connecticut. All these places doing this shit, leaving a trail of destruction and despair everywhere he went. He's come full circle back to this motherfucker,
Oh.
touting the same shit he went across the country fucking up. This man is sitting there telling you charter schools is the answer. We're gonna get those popping. Charter schools or public schools with less regulation and underqualified individuals doing all of the organizing of them. The test scores aren't better. They're not performing better at most of them. Now, at the ones where they do perform well, it's called selective enrollment. You know what that means? It
That means they
means
can kick you the fuck out
We kicked
whenever
the
the
idiots
fuck they
out of this
feel out.
motherfucker. That's not as good. That's not that good neither. We need you to teach these motherfuckers, not fudge the books by kicking the idiots out of this motherfucker.
Right.
that's what they do when they look good. They just fudge the books by kicking the idiots out. Meanwhile, all of the public schools, the regular general enrollment, if neighborhood schools, if you live around this motherfucker, you get to go to this motherfucker.
Are looking like class act,
They
and
because they
not the good half.
not the good half because they taking everybody. And what happens is when you have these selective enrollment schools, you have these people that will be able to get into those selective enrollment schools, and you know what they're gonna do? They're gonna go to them, pulling
Mhm.
their kids out of the other schools, lowering the pool.
Thereby lowering the pool that's already there. I'm not finna be in the front half of class act when I got a one-way ticket. All I got to test into the back of that motherfucker. I'm out of here.
Mhm.
I'm going to one of these STEMs programs. I'm going to one of these STEM. I'm getting the fuck out of Inglewood. I'm not going to Harper. I am going to one of these STEM programs
We're going
somewhere up
somewhere
north.
that could provide a future. But what happens is these places don't actually provide futures. They don't they don't necessarily educate your kids to their actual potential. But what Paul wants to do, he wants to implement a bunch of civil service schools. So he wants to enact schools that will train you to do the menial tasks and the remedial jobs of the future. What do I mean by remedial? He wants you to prostitute yourself, meaning the jobs that would not be able to be automated. I need firemen still. We need military servicemen still because we haven't automated that motherfucking program yet. We need motherfuckers to be to fill all of the civil service functions of a municipality that we can't automate. And
Hey,
we're
I'm
gonna
not
pay you
necessarily against that.
and we're gonna pay you shit to do it.
Oh no, I'm against that.
So you're never able to change your station in life. So we're able to then carry, and I'm gonna give y'all the whole plan. So we're able to carry forward the dependency of citizens on the state, which means you'll be amicable to do what we need you to do as the state, because to keep people in power and keep people wealthy, we don't need you to work. We just need you to exist to be able to buy. So they will give you a shit ton of food stamps. We know you're gonna sell them. We just want you to sell them so you can buy this shit from this motherfucking clown over here. And the cycle repeats. And also, some of you motherfuckers will go to jail. And also, a lot of you other motherfuckers will go to these alternative schools. Oh, because in the public schools, we're going to implement zero tolerance policies across the board, which gets you motherfuckers out of these schools. And
One
you go,
strike.
and one strike, and you go to these alternative schools that are for profit now, because no public school will take you. The charter schools are also public. They won't take you because you are an alternative type of student. So they'll put you in these places, in these buildings, in these schools that will graduate 24,000 high school graduates over the course of 25 years. So that's 1,000 per year, which sounds good if only you weren't actually charged with educating 3,000 to 4,000 senior graduating eligible level students per year. See, 24,000 sounds good until I know that you should have 100,000+. You're only graduating 25 or so percent, 20 or so percent of your actual enrollees.
Then you get a motherfucker like me who can't follow the bouncing ball on karaoke. What you do with that? No matter how many times I try, I just can't. I can't get it.
Oh, you know what you do with that individual? You put them right into this school because what you did was you eliminated the ability for this motherfucker to go to an LD classroom. So
I
now
ain't
they
got a
in
learning
general,
disability. I'm just slow.
it's a disability. You should be in
Oh,
an LD class for whatever
oh.
reasons. You're just slow, but you shouldn't be around the other motherfuckers who are not slow, because the motherfuckers who are not slow are gonna realize that you are way back there. You're gonna realize that everybody else is way up there. Now, what are you gonna do?
Disrupt this motherfucker. You
And
think
what is that?
I'm the first ain't?
And
Because
what
I'm
is that? And what
embarrassed.
does that do?
It's
It
gonna bring
brings down.
everybody down because I'm embarrassed. So you know what I can't do? I can't read faster, but what I can do is stop you from reading as fast as you
I
read.
Right.
can make you start reading at all. And that seems to me like it's part of the plan because it's
Call a
so
bell curve.
obviously a flaw in the system that to not correct it means you must be in on it. I'll drive down the scores to make you think that you need an alternative to reach to. And hey, lo and behold, this alternative you reach to, I just so happen to have a part in selling.
Either you're in
That's
on it
the
or
Hey,
you're
reason.
too
That's
stupid
the
to know what's
reason why
going
this
on.
motherfucker goes to small school districts and say, I don't even need a check.
the old Bush Enron skidoo.
It's because he is in bed with third party education systems that don't do any educations like the YCSS or YCCS. I can't, the Youth Coalition
Damn, Young Thug and
conglomerate
them had a
of,
school.
huh?
I said Young Thug and them had a school.
Nah, hey, look, they
No
probably
wonder
did.
they called a Rico.
They probably did, though. It was a lot of motherfuckers
Damn.
that was, hey, But you have these entities that are for profit that make money that I don't think don't kick you back money. That's why you're so adamant about standing on that. I'm not even taking the salary. I'm gonna tell you, it's not a flex for anybody in elected public office to say, I'm not taking a salary for doing my job. All that makes working class people think
Is you
is that you
motherfuckers
got some shit
balling,
up
Fuck, I
your
need this
sleeve.
little punk ass $200,000 for.
balling. Damn. No, nigga, take a meager salary, nigga.
What else you got going on then? Because it got to be something for you to do all of this work and not get no money.
You see why you just can't show up to the family function with Moscato, nigga. You have to ease it on the boy.
I'm not an easy
Mhm.
on a motherfucker. I'm gonna put the whole thing in there. It is what it is. But I see these things. That's why I can't trust you to vote for you. Also, also, um, your plans are for shit. Your plans are nothing. Um, I didn't send it to her, but if we still got a producer, I don't know what time it is right now. It's 12:06. We already in tomorrow. Shit. But if you want to go to Paul Vallas's website and pull up any of his actual plans, we can show the people exactly what this motherfucker has in store for the city of Chicago. It's nothing.
This motherfucker
It's
ran.
nothing. It's nothing.
This motherfucker ran Chicago public schools from 19. Put it like this. I was in high school from 1995 to 1999. Lord willing, I didn't have to do a second over my time. Paul Vallas ran Chicago public schools from 1995 to 2001. Everything he implemented happened from 2004 until I think 2012 was like the last of them charter schools got built. So you can't think of that little 95, 2001. He was still wrapping up somebody else's books. He dropped that motherfucker tornado when fucking Inglewood got combined with Robeson and got
Robertson.
turned into Inglewood STEM. That shit didn't happen till long after he left. Long after he left. But he's the motherfucker that did that.
Mm-hmm. Him.
Yeah.
You.
Yeah.
Saw your shit. But this is what the this is what the financial guru of schools did. He left in his wake. Let me pull it up real quick. Hold on.
Hey, I hate when my dog be chilling too hard. I just feel like he don't pay enough bills for the amount of money. No, dead ass serious. Look
Okay.
at this shit. Look at
So
this shit here. Look at this shit here.
the financial guru, because he got his initial appointment as the CEO of Chicago Public Schools when um he was he was in finance. He was a finance guy.
So he should have been the motherfucker that we handed it over to.
Mm-hmm.
Finance. We were having a financial deficit. Boom.
Yeah. But let me read this real quick. This paragraph, a little short paragraph. His approach to managing the school district reflected his fiscal background. He balanced the budget, but did so partly by redirecting tax revenues that had previously been exclusively dedicated to the teacher's pension fund to its general education fund instead. He also took out 666 million. First of all, who does that ever? Like 665 or 667, but never 666 in capital bonds that will cost the city 1.5 billion with interest. The financial guy showed you how to turn $600 billion into 1.5 billion. The only problem was he was showing you how to turn debt into more debt.
Eh,
He wasn't doubling your profits, he was doubling your liabilities.
hey, if one person runs down the street in the wrong direction, you just say that nigga crazy. But when 100 people do it, it's a marathon.
It,
City of Chicago
it
turned into a marathon.
turned into a marathon like a motherfucker, a horrible, horrible marathon. So he did that, and he has a long track record of going places for a little while and leaving. And when he leaves, they're worse off financially, and they're worse off or not very well off academically.
Mm,
Um, the Little Rock, Arkansas school district that he was in charge of, I believe he left them $70 million in debt after the fact, and he just bounced on them, was like, oh my bad, 70. Yeah, I don't know what happened to that, but I'm gonna be out of here. After telling motherfuckers that nah, we all good.
yeah,
He
there's nothing to
told
see it.
motherfuckers
Nothing wrong.
explicitly the right before he resigned and left. No,
Ain't
we
that what the
good.
fuck you gonna tell a motherfucker when you get the fuck out of there?
Right. I mean, everything good. It's not. I'm just.
Especially if they give you enough time to tell you that before they
I'm.
count the
I'm not.
books.
I'm not. I'm not. There's nothing wrong. There's no reason why I'm leaving. I'm just going. It's got
I'm just
something to do. That's
leaving.
all.
And hey, look, it's about 70 mil that is unaccounted for right now. So yeah, that's Paul Vallas. Everywhere he goes is destruction. Everywhere he goes, he leaves military schools and schools that are just designed to teach your kids the bare minimum of bullshit. He implements individual schools and is trying to champion one now that he wants to bring to Chicago that that is touting of 5% proficiency. 5% proficiency in reading and math. He wants to bring them in to fix the school system.
But we're functioning at 120% in shoveling.
That, that.
Y'all
But
got a
he's
shoveling
gonna be
course? We got a
he
shoveling course.
he he's only candidate one.
When you ever needed to read to work a broom.
He's candidate one. Now we got candidate two over here who entered into the last debate of the political season that he's fighting for and knew absolutely shit in the. You know how bad you gotta do in the debate to have a motherfucker that's voting for you going into it adamantly against the motherfucker that you were debating, coming out of watching said debate like, I mean, shit, I mean, Paul was saying some shit that made some sense.
If I gotta choose one of these two, that guy that I hated 45 minutes ago, yeah, not so bad.
Couldn't
Hey,
st-
it's
couldn't
fuck,
stand knowing he
fuck,
was standing there lying to me, but I'm like, this motherfucker's a good ass liar. He doing some good
it's
ass
fuck,
lying right now.
it's fucked up when you already got lesser of two evils on your side. And then you somehow flub that because we already know you evil. You got the lesser of two evils on your side, and you flub that with idiocy. I'm gonna be a dummy. I'm gonna just take all this advantage away. No, no, I don't need no handicap. Put my
Hey
strokes
look,
back up.
hey look. The night before, the head of the Chicago Police Union, what's his name? John Frank Carl Catnazara. Can't remember his first name, but the Catnazara dude, that motherfucker, lunatic, racist piece of shit motherfucker he is. He gets on the night before the last debate and says, if the nigga win, it's gonna be some smoke in the city. He said exactly like that.
If another nigga win,
He said, if Brandon Johnson is elected mayor of Chicago, there's going to be an exodus of at least 1,000 police officers, and the city will run with blood.
that's the third nigga in a row, man. I don't like it. I don't like it. I know
Not
Ron
like this
wasn't
at
a
all.
nigga, but he was nigga adjacent. He come from a nigga's motherfucking cabinet. Then y'all gonna give us goddamn Mo stud, and then y'all gonna run a third nigga through this motherfucker. Y'all trying to gradient niggas in this motherfucker. Y'all went from one tan one to a mocha one to a full blown nigga.
It's
Y'all see
getting
what happened to
dark
Harold
and dark.
Washington, right?
Hmm.
And that's what I felt that he was saying when he said that shit. But this is the individual that is the head of the Chicago Police Union, not former head, not defunct member of. He's the head of the police union. But quick side note about Cat Nazara. He's currently a retired police officer. He retired when he was brought up on some charges that weren't looking too good for him being able to skate by on or go by without receiving any ramifications for. So he decided, like a lot of other Chicago police officers, that instead of being held accountable for what I did, I'm going to quit or I'm going to retire. So I can't be held accountable because of qualified immunity. Anything I do is not criminal. It's just only on the job behavior that could be, you know, corrected by on the job corrective action, like a firing or something at the most. But if I retire,
Mm-mm.
I'm all good. That's what this
Safe.
cocksucker did. Now, you want to know what Paul Vallas's plan for addressing public safety in the city of Chicago is?
Mo police.
Not just Mo Police, because Mo Police doesn't sound necessarily bad on his ear. He wants to target the police that quit being police 3 or so years ago. He wants the individuals that were faced with circumstances much like Cat Nazara, with being held accountable with their actions,
He
that
want Van
said
Dyke back out
that
there.
said, fuck this shit, I'm out. He
He
wants
want
to
Van Dyke back
bring
out there.
he wants to bring those individuals back. He wants to bring the motherfuckers who said the job is too hard if you're gonna hold me accountable and make me honor everybody's civil rights. I can't do this job then. It is impossible to be a police officer and also respect people's civil liberties.
Ain't gonna be everybody.
Those are the individuals he wants to bring back.
60-40.
It is this person with whom you are going up against, and you can't answer specific questions like, Brandon, you speak about wanting to give double the employment of Chicago youth and something to the effect of putting 60,000 youths to work. Have you spoken with any businesses that will be willing to put these youths to work?
Yes, I have.
Oh, no. He didn't. He said, well, if you think about what you're thinking about, and then you add 2 to it, you get 16. And at 16, people can work, and youth employment is important for Chicago. And so you see how I brought it back around? Yeah, I'm done talking now.
So now you know. And knowing is half the battle.
Like, motherfucker, that's not an answer to the question that anybody asked. Oh, that's not an answer? Well, if you put the kids in jobs, then they'll have jobs. And what you mean, have I spoken to anybody directly? Well, I have been in discussions with individuals that would be able to be in the proximity with people that would be able to, make decisions based upon this. But as the next mayor of Chicago, I will tell you right now, it would be important for me to do that for these youth. Sir, what? Oh, let's move on to the next question. That's what the fuck we get. I would think you would have an exact answer for that. I would think that you would know how many kids you want to implement into this program year 1, year 2, year 3. I would think you would know some business owners that you have spoken to that will be able to get this implemented and hit the ground running. Because when you're asked that question, and then Paul Vallas is asked that question, and he comes off, well, I've spoken to a number of industry professionals and leaders, and we're going to get a actual work study program implemented because I've spoken to these industry leaders. He's telling you that he's spoken to these people. I know damn well he hasn't. It has no intention to do so. But the fact that he can lie so
easily and preparedly.
impressively, because the shit sounds like the lies that the shit that I know you're not gonna do they sound great, especially juxtaposed to this babbling ass nigga up here on the stage that only has to offer. Well, as a black man from Chicago, I just think that he couldn't even play the race card the right way.
But I mean, that's when because you're dealing with one diabolical dick shrinking motherfucker.
Hey,
He
look,
is literally he created his own opposition.
it's cool.
He's a product of the Chicago public school system that Vallas ran.
Yeah,
Of course
but
you're not gonna beat me. I've trained you not to beat me.
But if you gonna slap that motherfucker down, slap it down and don't fuck around and play the queen of clubs when you already didn't cut clubs, nigga.
Gotcha.
Hey, he ain't teach them how to play spades. He made sure he ain't learned shit. Therefore, you can't beat me once
Taught
I
him how to play Bokino.
But all Brandon Johnson did the entire debate is renege after renege after renege. And then when he finally tried to call this motherfucker and say, oh, wait. Harsh lead, fam. He couldn't call a book where that motherfucker threw off on Hearts. He couldn't call a book. He couldn't play the race card clean. He fumbled as a black man. I think, Paul, you should know better than to address me or to think these things about me that you said. Nigga, did you just fumble as a black man? You had one opportunity to play it because you getting your ass kicked. I know a motherfucker. I know what I done seen Steph Curry get ejected. Knowing damn well Steph Curry ain't never did nothing to get ejected ever, but he trying to get ejected. I've seen it happen. If that's what you're trying to do, let me know.
And so you saying that this nigga ended the goddamn Uno game with a draw four still in his hand? He lost the Uno game still holding the draw four?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
that'll piss the
yeah,
whole table
yeah,
off.
yeah. Because all he had to do was read the Slate article that I sent to you all and say, "Hey, Paul, what happened to that 73 million from Lil Rock? What happened to the graduation rates of those military academies that you implemented?" See, my opponent only wants to institutionalize your kids and indoctrinate them to the armed services. He wants to turn black boys and girls, black and brown boys and girls, into cannon fodder for the United States military. As the next mayor of Chicago, I will not do that because they graduate motherfuckers with a 5% proficiency. The charter program he wants to bring in to expand in Chicago got a 5% proficiency. Them specifically. You could say that. You could say that. You could say that as opposed to saying my opponent, he only has 3 lines about education on his website. No, he has a lot of lines. Like you got a lot of lines. Your lines actually say shit that you just couldn't articulate on the fucking stage. It's amazing how you can have all this shit that I read that I agree with, but you can't say none of that shit to make me be like, yeah, ever. But okay, cool. But the fact that you couldn't point none of those things out, you couldn't point out the motherfucker who was sitting there with gasoline draws on, you couldn't hit him with the match. All you gotta do is get that motherfucker close. Physics does the rest of the work for you. You couldn't get the match close.
We can
Not
put 2
very
and 2
competent.
together, but you didn't put the 2s up.
Man, I don't want to say you incompetent as you showing me that you're not competent while doing something I think is very fucking easy. But you finna fuck it up. You're gonna lose it. This man had a raving lunatic endorse him over you and say the city is gonna bleed. You didn't think to play the race card in that instance and say that's who's supporting this man. Say that this person can't even manage the team to get his Twitter in control. You want him picking the next police chief of Chicago? He can't pick the motherfucker that's supposed to manage his likes, but he gonna pick the police commissioner? Never once did you say that. Oh, because he was like his Twitter account was liking a lot of alt-right shit. And when he got called out on it, he said, "Ooh, wait, I don't even do my own Twitter. That was somebody else."
Yeah, I got a burner account.
Let me get them right. I got a burner account where I like all my racist shit.
Racism
That's
and
a,
squirrel fucking. That's my likes.
that screams incompetence. You can't pick a social media team, but you finna run the city.
That's a bar. Yeah,
Why didn't Brandon Johnson say any of this shit? You practice, fam.
I mean, practice is different once the light come on.
It's not supposed to be if you practice enough, though. You coming from a performer, fam. I'm a performer. You talking to a performer. I performed in many different modalities. Intellectual, athletic, musical.
Nigga, you not finna overhype this non-wrestling and jogging career
Hey, look,
as a
hey, look, hey,
goddamn.
look, hey, look, hey, look, hey, look. It is what it is. But when my amateur non-college scholarship garnering athletic ability understands preparation in these moments, understands how to be prepared. You're not finna tell. Come on, fam. No, no. I could have trained. I could have helped you out. I could have coached you in this shit better than whoever the fuck is supposed to be coaching you. It doesn't look like you can do the job at hand. And now I'm sitting here forced with the lesser of two evils again. And it's a yay. I got the one who say some shit that sound good, but I know he ain't gonna want to do it, nor will he know how to do it if he's elected. And I got the other one that's saying some fucked up shit that will implement all kinds of shit that he wants to implement because it's gonna enrich him. He's gonna be better for it. Only person gonna be better for it is him and the people that fuck with him.
I
That's
don't
it.
know which one is which is you're talking about.
Oh,
Which,
Paul Vallas is gonna enrich himself in the situation. Brandon Johnson, from all I can gather, is that he's gonna be too stupid to better his position. Like you live in one of the most dangerous areas in Chicago, or so you say. But you want to run for mayor. You can't get your block in order, but you want to run for mayor.
Ain't nobody on the block club but you and your wife.
You couldn't get the local school council in order, but you want to be mayor. Fam, there was plenty of things right in your immediate area of reach that you didn't improve, that you didn't even seem to me like you wanted to even scratch a problem in that area. Other than to say you live in it, I don't know what the fuck it is, fam. I don't. I don't. Nobody cares about your sob ass story. Nobody gives a fuck about that you've had all these brothers and sisters and you had one bathroom. That does not qualify you for the position of mayor of the third largest city in America, in the most powerful country in the world. And you finna lose it to a motherfucker who we all think is racist. At the very least, supported by all the races. You suck, Brandon. And I don't even want you to be a teacher in this motherfucker, let alone the mayor. But I'm gonna
And
vote for you. If that's an endorsement, hey, look,
that actually does sound like an endorsement. So,
Lesser of two evils. I'm trying to tell you, he's fumbling a lesser of two evils.
and hey, welcome to nigga. You should be used to this by now. You've been voting Democrat for how many years, nigga?
Bam, bam. Ain't nobody. Uh-oh. Full circle. Ain't nobody fumbled a lesser of two evils this bad since Adolf fucking Hitler. There was a nigga killing 30 million people where this nigga was killing six at the same exact time, right up the block.
Hey, look. First of all,
Yeah.
the motherfucker who killed 30 million people was killing black people, and he was killing
No,
white people.
nope.
Yeah.
I'm talking about Mussolini. I ain't talking about fucking Idi Amin.
Oh. Oh. Okay. I
Talking
wasn't
about
talking about Idi Amin. I
Mussolini.
was talking about the Britain general that killed 30 million Africans in Africa.
Oh, fucking uh
Dark skinned Jermaine. See what I mean?
I forgot that motherfucking name. The one.
Exactly.
It wasn't Heidi Selassie. It was somebody else.
Hey, look. I ain't even gonna hold you. I'm not gonna remember his name. You could say that motherfucker. I'm not
Hey,
gonna
if
remember it.
if none of the outlaws named themselves after them, then I don't know if he
When
really
the
killed
Hussein, the Edie, none of them.
them. Right.
Castro, nah.